What's up, y'all? Fear no one here. So I was playing, some ranked games as one does, and for whatever reason, I fought this person who I guess, I mean, I want to believe this was an accident, but I don't think it was. I can't believe this fool really. All right, so let's start from the beginning. I match up against this person. Mind you, prior to this, I had gotten perfected by someone that was better than me. Perfected in tag team games doesn't happen. At least not that often. So it's you know it's bad when you get perfected. I got perfected by someone, and then someone else had like a pixel of health left and still beat me. Freaking gotta come back. Don't get me wrong, I do that to people all the time, so I know it's just karma. But it still hurts. It hurts when you're the one you're the one that's happening. So anyway, as you can see, I'm getting right to it. Some people were saying that Akali doesn't have good damage. I think those people maybe have not learned the extended routes for this character. Because as you can see here, she made pretty quick work of team mode there. Now, the Blitzcrank matchup is a little bit, I don't know, it can get a little bit weird, especially when Akali's solo. And keep in mind, even when you're solo, like say you have two characters and one character gets knocked out, you still have the other character available through like super tag or what do they call it? It's not called super tag, it's called super assist, I think. But you need meter for that. If you don't have meter, you still can use your assists, but Akali's assists aren't that great. But if Akali's the character that's still alive, which tends to not be the case because she's a point character, then you have, you still have access to the assists of your other characters. So personally, I don't think that she does badly on her own. As you can see there, I just got squished. So the only downside is Akali is really squishy. These fights can go really, really quickly. But I like that. I like the fact that you can jump in, play some comp, have some fun, and then if your nerves are shot, you can just get yourself together again before you jump back into the foray. So personally, I've been enjoying this game. Again, I keep saying this because I feel like it's just one of those things that I can show you, I can say it, but the proof's in the pudding. Clearly, I'm enjoying the game, or else I wouldn't keep playing it. So, I don't know. Riot's got a lot of heat over this game, unfortunately, and that's unfortunate. I feel bad for them. But at the same time, I also feel like Riot has done so well and proven themselves so many times that they don't really need to prove themselves anymore. As long as they just keep producing quality games like this, especially the skins. Don't get me started on these freaking costumes. They call them skins, I call them costumes. Fire. Like here, these are just the default costumes for Echo and Akali. But if you look at some of my other platforms, I've shared previews of like costumes that are coming up and stuff like that. I mean, and it's not just the way the costumes look. It's the fact that like what they say changes. The elements of their attacks change. So like it's not, people are complaining about the cost. The game's free to play. You can play this game pretty much for free. If you just buy the battle pass, you can still unlock characters. I mean, personally, I think it's structured really well. It's very well balanced. Although, every patch is a little bit different. Alawi is pretty freaking strong right now. They tried to nerf Echo into the ground, but you can't nerf his kit. His kit's too good. Like some characters, they'd have to redesign them to nerf them, which isn't gonna happen because they'd have to admit they made a mistake, which they won't do. So anyway, I wanted to highlight this fight specifically because the fact that the person rage quit, because there does seem to be a problem in fighting games right now. I mean, I don't know, it could be other games too, but like for me, because I play fighting games so often, that's what I'm focused on. There seems to be a pretty big issue with people just rage quitting. And I presume it's because they're so focused on their rank. And don't get me wrong, I understand wanting to be perceived or seen as a strong player, but there's a big difference between wanting to be strong and being strong, right? So I don't know, like to me now, if you're just upset, it happened, sure. But this game punishes rage quitters pretty harshly, and the other person gets their points regardless. So usually it's really not worth it to even do that. There are some other games that don't discourage it. This game discourages people from rage quitting. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. People can't just quit without consequences, which is cool. Now keep in mind, if they had quit in the middle of the match or something like that, I might have believed or even considered that maybe they didn't disconnect or whatever. But no, it was like after the end of the set. It was really silly. Here you'll see part of the clip that I uploaded to Shorts, to YouTube Shorts. And I just wanted to show you guys what this character can do, how strong she is, and how flashy and cool. I mean, I love intricate characters that like require, it may be a little bit more difficult like on the hands, but that's, from person to person, you gotta decide what works for you. So, if you prefer to just get big damage and not have to do a bunch of intricate combos, there are characters for that. In my opinion, Darius and Eloy, although don't get me wrong, those characters can be played. They can be played at very high levels. In fact, Bleed, one of the best tag team fighting game players out there right now. I believe his current team is still Echo and Loud. So I'm just saying, like, you can pick a character because they appeal to your current level, and then you can always change it up afterwards. Now, of course, I can't talk about tag team fighting games without talking about SonicFox, because SonicFox is by far the strongest, the best. I mean, if you don't believe me, just go to I don't know, any website that keeps track of people who are winning tournaments, and you're gonna see SonicFox's name. So it was just I feel like you have to give props to props. You know what I'm saying? That SonicFox has been, SonicFox has continued to be incredibly strong, showing that they're gifted, that they're here, and they ain't going nowhere. And that's good. I mean, I think it's important that if you want to be heard, sometimes you have to find a way to make people understand, and make people see you. If they don't want to see you, that's on them. Straight up. I definitely understand that. But anyway, I don't usually do these long form videos because I feel like it's just not really my style. I prefer to either make cinematic cuts and like show you guys really cool songs that I like, and like play around with editing. I'm more trying to learn new stuff, but I also think it's important to like just have these moments where I just like connect with you guys and like talk to you and kind of let you know where my head's at with what I'm playing and what I'm doing. Of course, I love streaming. That's always been something that's been a passion of mine, something I enjoy. But unfortunately, I don't know, just too many negative impacts on my mental health. I had to let it go. Not to mention I wasn't making nothing off of it, so it really wasn't that difficult of a decision to make. Don't get me wrong though, like I still enjoy the concept. Like I like being able to connect with people and talk to people while playing my favorite games. So it's not to say that streaming is never gonna happen again. It's just it will happen when I feel so inclined. I can't see any other reason to. There's just no point in faking it. Like if I'm having fun and having a good time, I want to share some of the energy with you. I will. But if I ain't got it, I ain't got it. If I'm feeling it, I ain't feeling it. And people get real brazy on the internet. I don't understand it. Crazy, however you want to say it. People be getting real brave. So, and not just on the internet. I mean, some people will talk crazy to your face, right? But it is what it is. Overall, I'm enjoying 2x Kill, and that's the main message I wanted to say here. The other thing is just, if you're struggling, because it happens. Like my first, I'd say probably 30 games, when I jumped into a skill, I just got absolutely destroyed. It happens. Just keep trying. Take what you need to. Listen to your body. Listen to your nervous system. I'll see y'all around. Love and peace. Fear no one.